welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca and it is time for WIP and Waffle Sunday. I am still working on White Christmas, however, there's the end. Can you see it? So it may or may not feature next week, we shall see. Normally I like to mix up what I'm doing on a WIP and Waffle. I didn't bring in my spare diamonds today, not as organised as I have been. Yeah, normally I like to mix up on a WIP and Waffle and use my sort of decision wheel and sort of vary things up. However, because this is a Christmas painting, I am wanting it done for Christmas. And the only way really that was going to happen was just working on this one until it was finished. So that's what I've been doing. I have been multi-placing with this one, quite enjoying it. It works wonders, especially further down here when doing this sort of footstool poof, whatever you want to call it. It worked absolute wonders when doing loads of the light colours on that one. Doesn't work as well, or doesn't really work at all when doing the tree, but it's really nice when doing the sort of carpet at the bottom, because that's lots of vertical lines, and because I do my painting on its side, sorry, it's a lot of horizontal lines, but because I do the painting on its side, they're vertical to me, and that's how I like to multi-place. So I'm going to do, I think I might get away with this actually. I'm going to do as far as I can with the diamonds that I have in this colour, and then I'm just going to move on to another colour. It's going to be sort of a single placing kind of day. I have set myself sort of a time limit for this WIP and Waffle. I'm filming it through the week. It is what uni call reading week, what everybody else would probably call half term in real world. So Catherine is home, and I've got some painting to do this weekend. So I'm filming this through the week. So I've set myself a time limit, which is about an hour to do this WIP and Waffle. Last week's, I did quite a few long videos last week. I was properly in the mood, thoroughly enjoying myself with long videos. So we had a longer WIP and Waffle. Then there was the rest of the kitting up of the 192 colour painting, and then my spares took so much longer than I thought last week. So yeah, it was a good long video week last week. So we'll keep this one at an hour. It will also give you guys a chance to get caught up if you need to catch up. But you can still have an hour-long one to keep you going. So I'm going to go by that. Oh, I've forgotten my ABs as well. Okay, maybe I am going to have to... I'll have to go and grab my ABs, and I'll grab my extras just because I don't know how far we'll get. But there's a lot of single placing on this one, so it wouldn't surprise me if time flies. Let's use, I've got two more, go the right way up. I've got two more, I've got two pieces of trash, and it looks like I've also got an eyelash floating around in my tray. So I'll empty those out. This is actually a tray from August of last year. I changed up my tray. I fancied a bit of a change, so I went for the peach one. Sorry, I'm back. Oh, I've just dropped my pen. And I did chip it. I heard a chip. Oh, it's not focusing. Don't know if you can see that. My tip is still in the pen, but I just heard as it fell on the floor a little kadunk. That'll teach me to not be careful. Right, sorry, where was I? I've got my ABs. I'm gonna do my ABs first because my next colour actually goes right next to quite a few ABs. So I'm going to get the ABs on this sort of section of the tree now, and then I can nudge any I need to nudge anywhere when I need to. Excuse me, I've got a right tickle, so you'll have to excuse me if I keep coughing. I can feel it. I can feel a cough there, and then all of a sudden it'll either go or I'll have a nice good mini coughing fit and then it'll go. We shall see. But yeah, I'm limiting today's whip and waffle just because I have to get the post ready, and we want to ensure everybody can get their goodies. So I need to make sure the post is ready for the postie. Because if it's not, he can't take it. So, Mysterious Days, she says, good job on the multi-placing. She says she's watching this on the weekend. She is sick and she is steadily working towards finishing what was her drills and chills canvas. Well, I hope you are feeling better, that's for sure. I mean, you know, it's nice to have a couple of days diamond painting as long as you're not too sick that you can't diamond paint, but still, it's better to diamond paint when you're feeling tip-top condition and can enjoy every moment of it. She says working 40 hours a week prevented her from finishing her drills and chills canvas on time. She says White Christmas is such a beautiful canvas. She said she can't wait to see it finished. I do know quite a few people did manage to pick this up in the restock. I'm not sure if it is one that is still available or not. I am filming this through the week, so I kind of don't want to look it up, say that it's in stock, and then come Sunday when this video goes live it not be in stock, because that's just not right. So if you are still interested, there is a link to it in the description. There is on every whip and waffle that I've done this painting, so feel free to check it out. They have, as I say, done a restock, and I know quite a few people have since managed to get hold of it, so hopefully if you were one of the ones that wanted it, you got it. I got a generalized email for the restocks. They restocked about 41, I think it was, different paintings. I got the generalized email to say that the restocks were back, and it did have a picture of White Christmas in the email, but I didn't get an individual email to say that it was restocked. And I did sign up to the wait list. Not that I need one, because of course I have one and I'm working on it, but I didn't get the email to say that it was back in stock. So I don't know whether they just didn't send the individual emails and just stuck with sort of the bulk one or not. I'm not sure. Right, I think I've got all of those. Probably tipped out far too many. There is also a blue swirl. It looks rather similar to the letter G. It is different, but when you first glance over the painting, it looks rather similar. It's got a different background colour and stuff. I can see two here. Oh, and there's two here. But does anybody else find, I know I find, that sometimes when looking for a particular symbol, like not one that I've come across, you know, on my next level as such, or the symbol I want to do next, but when I'm looking for a symbol like an AB one, because the label symbol and the symbol on the canvas are often just slightly different, just because they're printed on different things, so you get a slightly different look to it. I can find it really hard to find a symbol. Yet once I find it on the canvas, I can then often find all the others that I need to find. Does anybody else find that? Like, they need to see the canvas one to be able to get the right one. Or is that just me? Could just be me. Mysterious Days also says, she says, out of curiosity, when are you planning on beginning to decorate for Christmas? She says, are you one of the people who do it in November or wait until after Thanksgiving? We don't have Thanksgiving, so that part is not as much a thing for us. Oh, it's a good job I brought them in. I've missed a letter R there. That would have been annoying if I didn't bring in those others. Yeah, so we don't do Thanksgiving, so that's not particularly a thing. More often than not, we're December. Sort of the first couple of weeks in December. However, we have been known to have our tree up by the 24th of November. So quite often that was when my mother-in-law would put hers up. That's her birthday. So she'd often put a small tree up on her birthday. And yeah, we sort of followed that for a bit. But again, it's never something that's sort of set in stone. A lot of the time it just goes with when we feel like it. So quite often the kids could, when the kids were younger, they would come home from school and just find the base of the tree up. Like, I got it down from the loft, put the tree up, potentially put the lights on, and they'd just come home from school to it ready like that, ready to decorate, and put all the decorations on. And quite often that would just be because I'd had a day where I'd been able to, you know, sort of spring clean the house, I suppose, or at least spring clean the front room. So I'd cleaned the house, and then, you know, moved any furniture that needed to be moved and sort of given the front room a bit more of a deeper clean, and still had the energy to grab the tree and put it up. But yeah, that can be at any point that the mood strikes. To be honest, there's no sort of official setup, but it is normally no earlier than the 24th of November. More often than not, it's the beginning of December. I am also one of those people that quite often the decorations come down the day after Boxing Day. So Boxing Day in the UK is the day after Christmas, so the 26th. And yeah, my 26th would be, you know, a family day. We love building Lego on the 26th. And then quite often, 1 or 2 days after that, the decorations will be down. I don't personally like them to be up for New Year. I know technically they should be 12 days of Christmas and all that, but I've never liked them to be up past and including New Year. I always take them down before. So yeah, not for a while yet, though. I'm always excited to decorate. I've enjoyed it a lot more since I decorate more so. I will take decorations down or pictures down in my house and exchange them for Christmas ones. And I find I can enjoy that for quite a bit longer because it doesn't get too overpowering, too much Christmas, should we say. By switching decorations, it doesn't end up looking too busy. It looks just the same as it normally does, but then different decorations. And yeah, I do much prefer doing it that way. I've actually got a few that I can multi-place up here. This symbol is everywhere. It is a very popular symbol, this one. That's got 5, okay. See, occasionally it picks up 5, especially when I want it to pick up 4, it will pick up 5. So just trying to make sure that I get them. I prefer it if I can do 2 and come in from the side. Sorry, pick up however many I need, but do it coming in from the side. But it doesn't always work that way. And then occasionally I get one caught on the edge of my multi-placer and it puts them all a kilter. But that's fine, we can have a rearrange. Have a rearrange and get it to work. It's just where my putty is squeezing out of the multi-placer. But I find it lasts a lot longer if I sort of overfill it that little bit and then just push in the bits that come out the sides and just fold them over back onto the multi-placer when it stops sort of losing its shape, or at least that's what I find. Sunshine Hillbilly says that store Albanese are good. Oh, they are amazing sweets. I've already gone through 2 or 3 packets, quite possibly. They are definitely liked in our house. I'm trying to ration them. I had a couple this morning, I think it was this morning, or maybe it was yesterday evening, sort of finished off a bag. I get a bag out and put it in a bowl. I don't put it next to me where I'm sitting because I found a packet went too quickly doing that. So I put them in the kitchen and I grab a couple, like when I'm making a brew or something, I'll grab a couple, or when I'm walking past, rather than having them sat in front of me that I'm just able to reach over and grab far too often. But yeah, they're rather nice. She says she lives about 3 hours away and they go there to get candy from the store and they put in dirt pudding over the worms. After we went with other brands get hard over time, but they stay soft. She says she puts in the dirty pudding. They are good. I'm not sure what that means. But I will agree that they are amazing. Okay, I want this 762. I don't have that many on here now, but I do want the letter R because that one that I missed is going to be annoying. So I'm not going to do a load more further down. I am going to put my pen where it doesn't fall down though. I don't want to go breaking it again because at the moment the pen tip's staying in. So it's all good when the pen tip stays in. It's not good when it falls out. Let's see if I can just get one out of the pot. Oh, there we go. Doesn't always work that, but it did that time. Okay, number 4. Anika says, watching from her bed today. She says, hubby brought home the flu from work. Oh, that was not very nice. Tell him that is not a very nice thing to bring home from work. And he needs to improve that. She said 2 days, she says, and he is already getting better and plans to go to work tomorrow. Well, you need to tell him after bringing something nasty home from work, the only way to make up for it is to bring something nice home from work every day for at least a week. And see if his imagination can bring you treats home every day to make up for bringing home the flu. Because that's just nasty. She says, so he's planning on returning back to work, whereas she is down with a fever, a runny nose, coughing and generally in a bad mood. all the more reason he should be bringing you treats home. She says she doesn't really have much of an immune system. Well, I hope it is clearing up now, and get hubby to bring you treats home, say for about a week, to make up for bringing home the flu, because who needs that? He also needs to tell off the person who came into work with it and passed it on to everybody else. Judith said, hi Rebecca. She said you answered my question if I needed more of the rectangle stickers. She said it surprised her for sure. She said her name is Judy, and the S stands for her last name, because her username is Judith and then numbers. So it's Judy S. I will try and remember that. She says, have a great weekend. She also then says, P.S. she received her order yesterday, and she's using the blue zesty tray today. She said, thank you so much. I hope you are enjoying it. I flip between using a zesty tray and using a normal tray. And I must say, I've used the big AMZ tray for quite a bit now on this painting. I could probably get away with using a mega tray for some areas of multi-placing, but it's not enough of them. I've not had enough that is huge amounts, apart from maybe this, that has made me get up off my bum and go and get one. That's mainly the thing, getting up. So I've not got up and got one, but I did use a zesty tray while doing some of it the other day. I was like, oh, let's use a zesty tray. Oh, it felt tiny. And I think it depends on what painting I'm doing. So when I'm doing a painting that is a lot of confetti, so like if it was all just like the tree, and loads of different colours in that confetti, so I only need a small amount, then a zesty tray feels fine. But when I'm doing sections that are mixed, so I have these big places that I can multi-place and then these smaller places for single placing, a zesty tray just feels too small for me. But it's weird how I sort of get used to one and then I switch it. I did have a few months where I was using the zesty tray constantly. I was single placing at the time, I wasn't multi-placing, so that might have made a difference. But yeah, I go through phases. I like them both, but I go through phases as to which one wins for the day. Wins or doesn't win. Olivia, she says she loves the sweet recommendation. Oh, they are a very big recommendation. They're amazing. She said especially she is a stickler for sweets, especially if she is working on a diamond painting or working from home. She says she can't concentrate otherwise. That's as good an excuse as any. I'll take it. She says, goes to Google the candy name. Well, hopefully you've been able to get hold of some, because they are really, really fruity. They are rather nice. That one's got a little bobble on it. Don't need that one today. Cat Lady, she says, sorry Rebecca, she says she's back. She said she had to watch that WIP and Waffle in 2 parts as she was doing a roast dinner and it needed her attention. Firstly, you do not need to apologise at all, and you definitely don't need to apologise if it includes a roast dinner, because frankly they're just amazing, and it's getting so much colder in the UK now, and roast dinners, especially on a Sunday, just go up a level when it's cold. They really, really do. They're so much better. She said the White Christmas is definitely moving along. She said she hopes that next year's Advent is more Christmassy, so then she can put it up every Christmas. Yeah, we do tend to fluctuate a little bit between the two. in a way, it's a pity that there's such a long gap between each of our Advent events. But our first one was more universal. Our second one was very Christmassy, with it being the Advent calendar. Then it's a bit less Christmassy this year, though it is, of course, to be used all throughout 2024. But at the moment, we are looking at back to Christmassy designs for next year. We sort of don't want to overpower people with too much. I know many people love Christmas, but there are also many people that don't. So we try to sort of fluctuate between the two of them a little bit. And I was itching to do an actual calendar as well, because I really love the idea. And I did think about doing a theme for each month, but because we have so many customers in so many different countries, it's very hard, because not every thing is celebrated every month. So for November, for example, would be more of a Thanksgiving thing for those in America, but in November in the UK, Bonfire Night is Guy Fawkes Night, is the only real sort of themed event in November. So it could have been hard to meet all the needs, so we went with generic instead. She said when she came to look at her rounds yesterday, she realised that she needs another box to get them sorted, and she needs a trip to the range for supplies. Well, a trip to the range is not to be sniffed at. She said she's told it's full of Christmas, so her resistance will be tried. Yes, the range is amazing for Christmas. So that is a UK shop, but they do have some amazing stuff for Christmas. However, it's now, second week in November. Wouldn't surprise me if there is nowhere near as much. It is one of those that if you manage to get into the range when the Christmas range has first come out, you'll be able to get what you want. But if you leave it a couple of weeks, it just disappears. It just disappears slowly but surely, to the point that there is not much left. I don't actually think I need anything particularly new this Christmas. I did pick up an ornament probably about a month ago that I spotted in Dunelm when I was going in there for something else. But apart from that, I don't think I've particularly needed anything to go hunting, so I've resisted. Sue, she says there are so many flavours. She says jam has berries in it and jelly is made from just juice. She said strawberry jam, apricot, raspberry, well, any berry makes a great jam. We do have quite a few different types of jam with loads of different berries. I just didn't know if PB&J had a particular one, or actually when you have a PB&J it could be with multiple different types of jam. And I know you say jelly is with no sort of bits in it, but jelly to us is a little bit different. You tend to add hot water to it and then pop it in mix it all up and pop it in the fridge, and then it wobbles. I don't know, wobbly jelly, and you have it with trifle, and it's amazing. Our jam, I don't know if we have different names for it, or they just tend to put on the label if it has fruit pieces in it or not. I cannot quite remember. It's been a while since I've investigated the jam aisle in the shops. Maybe I should pay more attention to things like that. Carrie says, hi Rebecca. She says she's loving the painting. She says you're getting so much done and it's beautiful. She said she has tried multi-placing, but she can't get them straight. She said she spends more time fixing it than if she just single places. And I get that. When I first started, it was never sort of lined up enough. Even now, it's not lined up perfect in any which way. But I have been trying to train myself, I suppose, to not think about it too deeply and to take a step, just that little small step back. Not, you know, hang it up on the wall sort of distance back that you need to do with a custom painting, but just more of a slight way back and see if you actually really notice any gaps or any diamonds misaligned. And quite often I don't, and sometimes I do mess with them a little bit, try and tweak them a little bit straighter. But the general overall tends to be nice enough. So I keep trying to tell myself that when they don't always end up straight. They don't always end up exactly as straight as I'd like them. She says Tuesday is her dog's bladder cancer surgery. She says she's a very nervous mama. But the vet is amazing, she says, so she knows he'll be in great hands. Well, I hope everything went amazingly well and that he is getting back to his normal self if he's not back to his normal self already. I know Luna took longer, I think, than most dogs do to recover, which in a way stopped her jumping up and doing herself more damage. But it did also keep us on quite a bit of tender hooks until she got back to being more like herself. So it's not a fun time. Jess, she says, well past the halfway point. Yes, I was. I'm now even more so past. Oh, it's a good job I brought them in. I've got another colour that I am nearly out of. I've actually not been filling them sort of all up together. I've just been filling them up as and when they need them. So I'll have to fill this one up in a minute. Gives me a chance to get rid of all the trash little bits that end up in the bottom. Fish through the rest. She says you're making excellent progress for a November finish of White Christmas. Yes, and I'm even potentially leaving myself time to actually get it framed before we start decorating for Christmas, which means it might actually have a hope of being up in our house. We shall see. I'm not counting my chickens before they've hatched. But yeah, it's definitely facing in the right direction, and I've been really enjoying seeing it come to life, especially multi-placing through sort of some of the colours. It is quite amazing how quick it can sometimes come together. For this section, this tree part took quite a while, but like this part I got done rather quick, and then the bottom part I got done rather quick. It just took a while, let's say, for this tree part. So I'm expecting the rest of this tree here to take me, you know, an evening or two to fully get through, depending on how much time I get. But then I'm expecting the bottom part to be quicker, and then when I get up to this top section, when I'm on my last two strips, I tend to do my sections this way instead. Just a little bit of variety, and I want to see the end of it. I want to see that top row. So I tend to do my strips a different way. So I'm kind of hoping, you know, or I think I'll find that especially that last top strip doesn't have as much confetti in it at all. It's more of the wall than it is of the tree. So by doing the two sections up, I end up with a bit of confetti and a bit of blockiness. So I reckon that part will go fairly quickly. We shall see. Right, I'm just fighting the last couple of diamonds out of this packet because there is a bit of static in this one. Not a huge amount, but enough to make some of them not want to come out. And then I am going to take my label off, which of course is not coming off nicely. There we go, do it that way because I was on camera. So that bag I know is ready to use again. But yeah, if you can see, it's not hugely blocky, but there is some more blocky sections, like less colours in this part. So I'm hoping with a mixture of this and a mixture of the rest of the tree in this row below, I'll actually have quite a nice variety and sort of get that last bit done fairly quickly. She says she hasn't heard a complaint about all the light colours in this painting, she said, so you should be fine. No, they're actually not bad. They're really good. There is a couple that seem to have a few more little bubbles than others, but unless they're like lots of bubbles or really annoying bubbles, sometimes, you know, they just make it to the painting, and to be honest, I don't see them. Maybe it's because it is a light colour, but they definitely don't sort of shine as much as they possibly could. The worst one is probably the 310, which is kind of understandable because, you know, it's not as easy to quality check them, because sometimes if it's late evening when I'm doing it, sometimes I miss them. So yeah, but it's working well. I'm loving it. She says she would be feeling burnt out on it by now, she says, and she feels like she'd have to work on something else a little bit bright and colourful, she says, but she can't wait to see this finished. I have done a couple of paint gems from time to time in with this. Now, one of them was the Safari edition. That's the other paint gem I did have kitted, or I have still kitted up, but I hadn't finished. I did work on some Safari, which I suppose are still very muted colours, just more the brown scale. But I also had the Ocean set kitted up. So I did actually spend one evening doing a few of the Ocean series, which is quite bright. So I find if I do want to concentrate on, say, one big painting, because I want to get it finished for a certain time or something like that, that actually working on a paint gem mini every now and then can actually give me that change of colour or the change of pace that I may want or may feel that I need, and then I can go back. With this one, I've actually found, especially with the tree and with this garland around the mantle, because they are both quite confetti images, that I think I've sort of had my need for difference met by each strip that I'm doing having a mixture of blockiness that I can multi-place and then confetti when it gets to the garland, or like now the Christmas tree. And that's actually varying it up enough for me, even though it's not loads of bright colours. So I think that's worked quite well, which, you know, you can never tell. It's based on the design, what it needs, as to whether it's going to be confetti or not. But I think that's definitely helped with this painting anyway. Or at least it's helped me to feel like it's different between sections. I don't feel like I'm doing, you know, lots of confetti or lots of block work and I'm not getting the variety. Maybe I would if I'd done it, you know, if I had a big table and I had it laid out and I was doing all the floor first, or then all the skyline above, and then doing the tree and in effect a lot of the fireplace garland all together, then I could see how I'd, you know, either get bored of blocking or bored of confetti. But in this instance, because I'm doing it vertically, it's actually a bit mixed up. Right, a little bit of trouble getting a few of those off the tray because of the static, but they're in there now. So that should be easier. I've got one piece of trash stuck in my tray. There we go. Okay, let's do some multi-placing. Another one I'm low of. Letter E. I find that I'm running out of quite a few now each time that I do it. So when I did some last night, I actually ran out of quite a few other different colours. So I actually filled up quite a few last night. I'm probably at the point where I should just go through and fill them all up, because it's close enough to the end to probably be able to empty most, if not all, of the bags. But, you know, that takes time. And I want a diamond paint. KS says, tip and trick, said one of their favourite things is to uncover a section, then gather all the colours they need for that section into one place. And then they grab a random colour from the bowl and go with that and work through all of that colour, and then they grab another random colour and work through all of that one. I love creating little games to do while diamond painting. It's probably a sad thing, but it also is fun. It's like the decision wheel. It's like a little mini game as to which one you're going to do. But yeah, I like that idea. I think the only thing with that one, and this is me personally, is the time it would take to pick out the colours that I'm doing. I have in the past asked, like, you know, a member of the family to like pick a number between, you know, 1 and 10 or 1 and 30 or something like that, and then picked it according to the row in my storage and picked it that way. Quite often I do pick sort of the most bottom left, but every now and then when I want a little bit of variety with it, then I'll ask somebody to pick a number, and that will correlate to the number in my storage case, and I'll pull that one out and do it. If it's a symbol that's not on the canvas or on the section that I'm doing, then I'll just ask them to pick again. I've not had it happen more than twice, so I don't end up annoying them, asking them for numbers after numbers after numbers for no reason. Some other times I do like to work through it in the order of the case and do it that way. And then sometimes I like to go by the darkest colours first. So I'll do all the symbols that have white writing instead of black. And then I'll go through and do whatever looks the darkest. I don't like check the DMC numbers to confirm it is the darkest, but I go for what looks the darkest and work through them that way. Just sort of, as you say, mixing it up, varying it up a little bit, just to give it a little bit of spice in a different way. And just changing things up for a little bit of fun. And I'm losing diamonds because I always lose more diamonds when I'm multi-placing. I end up either not trying to knock one off that it's picked up that I don't want and knock more than one off, or I end up picking up an extra one and it doesn't want to keep hold of it. So I'm forever throwing diamonds when I multi-place. Right, I'm going to use up the rest of these, but I'm going for all the bits in the confetti tree, and then I'll go back to multi-placing to do these bigger sections when I've filled this tray back up. Or at least that's what I'm going to see if I can do. She says another tip and trick for diamond painting with pets is to keep a safety pin or a needle nearby so that you can get under any pieces of hair. Any pieces of hair, put an index finger on the top and then lift the whole lot up to get hairs off the canvas. See, that's where I am, you know, fairly blessed in that Luna is not a molting dog. I'm sure she will lose, you know, a little bit of hair, but she definitely does not molt all over the furniture. Which, she just likes to get it muddy. She likes digging. She loves going digging. Sometimes more ferociously than other times. And definitely creates a bit more mess and sometimes over others. But yeah, she doesn't tend to shed. I've not yet found one of her hairs attached to my canvas. I'm more likely to find my own or my youngest daughter's. My youngest daughter definitely sheds more than anybody else in the house. She's got such thick hair. Right, I've got a couple here that are stuck together. It's only one set of two, so I've just used my fingernail. I'm just trying to use up these last couple that are sort of floating about. And then those have either got little nubs on or were damaged. Right, what do we want? 453. All the colours today. There's a lot of this further down as well. She says when labelling a round bottle or handwriting a label, she always puts 3 dots in a row. Sorry, bear with me. 3 dots in a row. Under the bottom of the number or symbol, so she always knows which way is up. She also orients the bottle in the same direction as the canvas so that she can be sure to find the right one. She's currently doing Treasures of the Great Outdoors, which is a Diamond Art Club one by Chuck Pinson, and they have 4 arrows and 3 carats, all different colours and in different directions. That one's definitely one to keep an eye out. Don't test yourself too much on that one. Anyhow, she says, as always, love your WIP and waffles. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here. I love doing my WIP and waffles. Absolutely love them. And it's another excuse to diamond paint, so that's always fun. Get some diamond painting in the day with a very valid reason as to why I can ignore potentially emptying the dishwasher or something else like that because I'm doing a video. So I'm busy. I've got one there with a little bit of a excess, a little bit of a nub on it, and it's stopping those from sitting down nice. At least I managed to pull it out before having to dig out my tweezers. Because again, laziness. If I don't have to dig out my tweezers and I can do it with my pen or my nail, I will. Kaz says she loves jam. She says especially strawberry jam on hot buttered toast. It's her favourite. User lots. She says, hi Rebecca. She says she loves my videos. Thank you. She says a couple of questions. She says, what made you use a multi-placer? She says, when you were so against them. I don't think I was necessarily against them. I wasn't anti multi-placer, like, you know, I'm never going to use them, I don't agree with them, all the rest of it. Not like, yeah, it wasn't like a passion that I really didn't like them. I was just no good at them. I was no good at multi-placing. There was a part of me that felt like it is a little bit of cheating. Not that anybody that uses them cheats, but to me it did feel a little bit like cheating. I think what sort of changed my mind is, one, you know, a lot of you guys have said give them a go, you know, you'll enjoy it, like you know, it's worth doing, all that sort of stuff. It's also partly because I think definitely since I've had more than one large painting kitted up at a time, I feel like it's helped me to get through the large paintings. But what really resonated with me that somebody said that I think made me even want to give it a go in the first place, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who was that said it to me, but she said she treats it like a puzzle, and finding the pieces and putting the pieces together, which just resonated with me, of taking it to not so much, so therefore I wasn't feeling not so much like I was cheating, but like I was doing a puzzle within a puzzle. So the end section of this painting, let me see if I can get it into shot so I can show you what I mean. But hang on, I'm gonna have to move a canvas and stuff. This part down here, this flooring, can you see how many sort of strips of colours there are? Which of course this is showing it sideways, but that is where you can vertically multi-place. And oh my, I love doing this part, absolutely love it, because it's well and truly like a puzzle, but it's like a full-on multi-place puzzle. There is not many parts of it that you need to single place. There are some, of course, you know, where numbers don't even up, or where I may have gone to pick up 4 diamonds and it only picked up 3 and I still placed them down. So there is a little bit of it, but nowhere near sort of as much. Yeah, and I think it's the puzzle part that made me really give it a bit more of a go. And when there's times like I sort of set myself a deadline, I suppose, multi-placing, yeah, it is, you know, getting through paintings a bit quicker than definitely maybe I would have single placing. But I've got to the point where I'm sort of happy with the mix, and I have so many in my stash that I want to do. And every time I'm like, oh, I really need to get my stash down, I then end up going buying more, because I can't resist the artwork. And I've done that again recently. Oops. So I did end up purchasing another Dreamer Designs painting. The Dreamer Designs paintings have been speaking to me recently. They have really been saying, buy me, for quite a few of their designs. Not all, because of course every sort of artist is different and they accommodate different people's tastes, but there has been a few paintings that Dreamer Designs have brought out recently that I'm like, oh, I absolutely adore that. White Christmas being a prime example. So I have recently bought one of their new releases, as well as something else that I didn't want until I saw somebody's picture of them working on it. On the Dreamer Designs group, I saw a picture of somebody who was partway through it, and it's not a painting I don't think it's a painting I'd ever necessarily display in my home, but it is a really fun, funky, colourful painting that I am sure would, you know, suit other settings and could be given away to a charity or something and be amazing, but will be so much fun to work on because of its bright colours. So yeah, multi-placing is helping me get to the point where I can get to some more of my stash, or at least hopefully it is. That's the plan. She said also, is there any regrets? She said, giving up your regular job to do what I do full time. The main answer is no. There isn't any regrets. I don't miss the job I was doing at all. Much prefer what I'm doing. There are on occasions that I may miss the whole being employed, set working time. You know, once you're done, you clock off, that's it. You go home, you do whatever you want. There are times that I miss that. But a lot of the time, you know, it's my own, in effect, demands I put on myself. There is a lot going on in the background at the moment, even though we've not got, we've got a launch in December, but even though we've not had a launch in October and November, things haven't slowed down here at all. I've got so many different projects going on at so many various different stages, some smaller things, some bigger things, that, yeah, like at the end of the day, I absolutely love it, and I'm so grateful to be able to work from home and, you know, have some flexibility over my time. But no, I wouldn't switch back at all. I think even, you know, those odd moments when I'm like, oh, I should have a regular 9 to 5 clock off. Even those times, I think if somebody said, okay, here you go, here's a regular 9 to 5, you can switch right now, I'd still go no. It's like that little vent of frustration, isn't it? You know, everybody has it in every aspect of their life, probably. I know when the kids were younger, you know, there'd be the odd time, oh, goodness me, I just want to lie in. Can these kids just disappear for 24 hours? Doesn't mean you'd want to get rid of them completely. So, yeah, it's a bit like that, really. A little bit like that. Right, Rachel says she loves the gummies. Yes, gummies, amazing. If you have the chance to check them out, if you're in the States or if they ship somewhere else, do give them a go. Okay, let's see. My battery is flashing on me as well, and it is very much nearly the hour. So I'm going to see if I can fit these letter J's in, just because it pretties up that line a little bit. And then I'm going to sign off for today. I do have quite a few comments left, so I will try and do potentially a longer WIP and Waffle next week. We'll have to see how the week goes, but I'm calling it done there for now, and I'll finish this up this evening. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.